This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome. You are here in the lab room on lockdown coverage, where your man Louie Tee is covering the entire National Football League like a blanket. Thank you for joining me on this program, breaking down each and every single game from week 1 of the National Football League, and every game, for that matter, in the 2016 NFL regular season. And so we're talking Detroit Lions and Indianapolis Colts. What a ball game this was, and what a finish this game had. And we'll talk about all of those things a little bit later on. But first and foremost, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Subscribe to the channel Louie Tee Network for more great content on the NFL this season and moving into the future. Also on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Be sure to follow me there. And also on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up and a like there as well. If you want to comment, the chat is actually disabled because these streams were posted yesterday. This was supposed to be done yesterday, but time constraints wasn't able to do it. So if you want to leave a comment and have it read, make sure you send me a tweet via Twitter using the hashtag #LouieTLive. I will then read that at the end of the program, and we can have a running dialogue then. So let's get into this game. And the way I like to do this, likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe. And I thought this was a really well-played game by both offenses. The same cannot be said for the defenses in this game. We'll talk about that too. But let's first start with the likes in the first half of both teams, starting with the road team in the Detroit Lions. Kerry Hayter Jr. Who the hell is he, and where the hell did he come from? Don't ask me. I don't know the answers to any of those questions. All I know is that you need to learn his name because he looks like he has the potential to be a problem moving forward. What a football game for him. He looked damn good in this game. And I the first time he made a sack, I said, okay, some no name, getting in there, getting Andrew Luck down. Okay, cool, whatever. He did it again, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, weren't you the guy that did that the first time? He's like, yeah, that was me. Then he deflected a pass, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you a problem. What's your name again? Had to write him down. I'll be looking out for number 61, Kerry Hayter Jr. He was a menace in this game, abusing Andrew Luck and that Colts offensive line. He's a guy that I got my eye on. I'm watching him, looking for big things from him. This was a great start to his NFL career. The offense. Love the offense in the first half. Love the offense all game long, but especially in the first half because I love the way this game to me sets a tempo for what I need to expect from this Lions football team this season. And they've always had a crowded backfield, but I think, and I hate saying this because I love Joique Bell, but not having Joique Bell opens some things up in this backfield because I love Theo Riddick Jr. He's my favorite, one of my favorite running backs in this entire league. And I thought he was underutilized and has been. And it was good to see him get a contract extension. And it's good to see him get touches because I think he's dynamic out in space. There aren't many backs in this league that are harder to tackle out in space than Theo Riddick Jr. And to see him finally getting the touches that he deserves, which allows him to make the plays that I know he can make, it's good to see. So I'm really pleased with what the Lions are doing with their running backs this year as far as giving him touches, giving Abdullah touches, and even working in the young fella Dwayne Washington. I like what they have in their backfield, and I like the way that they're using them, and I love what they're doing with their receivers, and I like how they're getting them the football, and I like what they're doing with Ebron, and I like how he's getting the football. I just love the usage of the offense now. I like the way that they're utilizing their weapons. Maybe, and this is what I said, maybe not having Calvin Johnson out there and Matthew Stafford feeling the need to get him the football, to feed the beast, not having that security blanket, not feeling like, okay, I don't have anywhere to go. I can just throw it up to Calvin. Doesn't matter. Double coverage, triple coverage, doesn't matter. He'll make a play for me. That's how you get into trouble. Now he's going to have to utilize other guys. There isn't a guy that can just win in double, triple coverage anymore. Now you have to actually read the field and make smart decisions with the football. I think that's actually going to benefit Matthew Stafford, believe it or not. And you saw that in this game, man. Everybody got the football. Everybody got their touches. And the Colts couldn't cover all of the different weapons that they had, whether they were receivers, tight ends, or guys coming out of the backfield being a nuisance. Love what they're doing offensively. Let's see if they can keep this up for 16 games in the regular season. The last was the 3 touchdowns on 4 offensive possessions in the first half. They came out guns a-blazing in this football game. And before the Colts looked up and knew what the hell hit them, they were down 21-3 in this game. I mean, they weren't playing around. The Lions weren't messing around on offense. 4 first half possessions, 3 of them getting into the end zone. That's how you win football games. I watched some teams struggle to score over this weekend. Teams not being able to get in the end zone and still expecting to win. You can't win in this league. You don't score touchdowns. If one of those possessions resulted in a field goal, it's a totally different game. Because at the end, you're not looking for a field goal. You're looking for a touchdown instead. That's the difference between scoring touchdowns and kicking field goals. You give yourself a chance to win games when you score touchdowns. You want to kick field goals? Don't cry and beg for a W at the end of the game. They got it done. Love what they did in the first half. Even defensively. And they would have been on the likes list if not for that final possession, and I'm about to talk about that in a second. Let's go to the likes for the Colts in the first half. End of the first half drive. And that's why the Lions defense wasn't on my likes list, because this was a big drive. And I'm going to tell you why this drive was so big. They pulled the Patriots on the Detroit Lions, and it flipped the script in this football game. Because not only did they allow the Colts to score a touchdown and give them momentum into the halftime break, the Colts also got the football first in the second half. And what did they do? Take the momentum that they had built and spun it into another touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And just like that, your 21-3 lead in the blink of an eye is a 3-point lead at 21-18. And that's what happens when you give up momentum right before the half. And that's what the Indianapolis Colts was able to wrestle away from the Detroit Lions. And that was huge. That was huge. It gave them an opportunity for life in this game. If they get nothing right before the half and they go into the half feeling lousy at 21-3, this game's over. But they went down the field. Andrew Luck took his team down the field, spread the ball around judiciously, found a wide open tight end Dwayne Allen in the end zone, got them back into this football game, came right out in the second half, did the same thing, spread the football around, and just like that, they were back in this football game, 21-18. And so, huge momentum building drive right before the half for the Indianapolis Colts. I definitely liked that. Adam Vinatieri is also on my likes list. Ageless wonder. 50-yard field goal, no problem. I'm watching these young kickers come in here, miss 46-yarders, miss 39-yard field goals. This guy's drilling them from 50. Again, climate controlled, I don't care. Adam Vinatieri is money. He's definitely a Hall of Famer in my book. He continues to chug along, kicking field goals. He's magnificent. Dislikes for the first half. We go back to Detroit. End of the first half defense. And it's amazing how you go from almost being on the likes list to being on the dislike list that quickly. But because of how that last drive of the first half impacted this game, it didn't just impact the first half. It impacted this game because it gave the Colts momentum, even though they were down 11, gave them momentum going into the halftime break that, hey, we get the ball again after the half. Let's do that again. And that's exactly what they did. And it turned a game that had a chance to get out of control into a game that was right there for the taking for the Indianapolis Colts. And it was because that first half defense, the end of the first half specifically, defense of the Detroit Lions that had been so good all first half long, let them down and let the Colts back in this ball game. You go, and that was the only dislike I had. I thought they played a clean first half other than that last drive of the first half defensively. Go to the Colts and my first half dislikes for them. The defense in general, and this is what you're going to get from the Indianapolis Colts. The defense just isn't very good. And we knew that coming into the game. And the Lions were able to take advantage of it. And they scored, like I just said, 4 possessions. 3 of them resulted in touchdowns in that first half. You can't live like that. You can't win in this league like that. You can't get. It's okay to give up yards. That's going to happen. For the good defenses, that doesn't happen. But you're not a good defense. It's okay to give up yards. Don't allow the team to keep getting in the end zone, though. Got to force them to kick a field goal. Maybe two. That gives you an opportunity. When you give up touchdowns every time, you're going to lose football games, most likely. Inconsistency of the offense is my other dislike for the Indianapolis Colts. They move the football, they pick up a penalty. They move the football, they still got a punt. You drop passes, not necessarily doing that in this particular game, but it's the inconsistency of this offense. The offensive line has protection breakdowns. Andrew Luck gets sacked. Now it's 2nd and 18. And all of a sudden now you're in a hole and he can't dig you up out of that hole and you got to punt. You had something going, you get a penalty. You had something going, he gets sacked. You got to waste it down because he's got to scramble for his life and throw it out of bounds. You just wasted it down. The inconsistency of this offense kills me because Andrew Luck is so good. He's so good. The weapons around him are so good. You saw Dorsett finally show why they spent the first-round pick on him in this game. You know what T.Y. Hilton is about. I love me some Dante Moncrief. You got some production out of Jack Doyle in this game. Dwayne Allen is a problem. The weapons around Andrew Luck are magnificent. If you can just protect him, he will distribute the football and move this team down the field and score points. You saw that in the second half. But the inconsistency of this offense kills me because of the inconsistencies of this offensive line. Let's go back to the likes, and we go to the second half this time, and we go back to the Detroit Lions. The momentum response with the touchdown to Abdullah when the score was cut to 21-18. That was a huge drive by the Lions because the whole momentum of the game had shifted. The tables had turned. Uncle Mo was on the sideline of the Indianapolis Colts as they had run off 15 consecutive points to get this game within 3. And the Lions calmly took the football right down the field and capped it off with a touchdown to Amir Abdullah, AA, and extended that lead back out to 28-18. Thought that was a huge momentum-shifting drive by the Detroit Lions. And my final like for them in this game is Matt Prater redeeming himself. Look, he missed an extra point that would have loomed large had they lost this game 34-35. All anybody would have wanted to talk about. They wouldn't have talked about how bad this defense was in the second half. They wouldn't have talked about how good Matthew Stafford was in this game because he wasn't good. He was great in this game. And they would have talked about Matt Prater. And this was one of your issues early in the season last year was the kicking game. I'm glad he redeemed himself because he's a really good kicker. But sometimes he can be a little spotty. Missed an extra point. Luckily for you, it didn't cost you in this game. And the reason it didn't cost you, the last like on my list for the Lions in this game, Matthew Stafford. Man, what a magnificent game he had. Just look at the numbers scrolling down at the bottom, okay? Matthew Stafford had an outstanding game, and he had to. Because if you look at the other side of the field and what Andrew Luck did, he had to have the type of game that he had in order for them to win. Stafford, 31-39, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the biggest number there, the absent number there, no interceptions. And that's what you've been missing from him. You've always had one interception in there somewhere. Didn't happen in this game. If they can get this kind of production out of Matthew Stafford, we know he's capable. This is a guy that's thrown for 5,000 yards in a season before. We know he's capable. Can he limit the turnovers? Can he make smart decisions with the football? I think no Calvin Johnson might actually force him to do that. I love what I saw from him in this game. With the game on the line, ice water in his veins. I love the way he was cussing his teammates out. Ebron, look at me. Effing look at me, man. I'm telling you what to do. Look at me. This ain't the time for that BS. Game on the line. Look at me. You, Jones, get the hell out of bounds, man. What are you doing? He was getting on his teammates. I love it. Be a leader. Step up. That's how you win ball games. Love it. Second half likes for the Colts. The offense was the only like. And this offense is dynamic, and I basically ran through why I love this offense. Andrew Luck is awesome. Awesome. Duh. He's awesome. And it was funny. It was mind-boggling to hear people badmouth at Andrew Luck in this offseason. oh, Andrew Luck's overrated. We're going to find that out this year. He's not worth the money. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The offensive line in front of him isn't worth it. But Andrew Luck is. These weapons around him. Stop it, man. Stop it. Love this offense. Love this offense. And you saw why in the second half. They were down 21-10. They put up 25 points in the second half. 25 points in the second half. That should be good enough to win every week. But when your defense gives up 37 and tacks on a safety at the end, it's not good enough to win. It's not. And that's a shame. Because they're going to have to win a bunch of shootouts this year because this defense isn't any good. And maybe the defense will get better once you get healthier in the secondary. Maybe. But you still don't get any pass rush consistently. So you're still going to leave those guys out to dry. So I still don't know if there's going to be a huge uptick in how good this defense is when you get Darius Butler back, when you get Vontae Davis back, when you get those guys back and they're healthy. I don't know if there's an uptick when you get Clayton Gathers back, when your secondary becomes whole once again, because you still don't get pressure consistently. So I don't even know if it's going to make a difference or not. But I love this offense. Second half dislikes. The second half defense for the Detroit Lions, putrid. I just told you they gave up 25 points. And the Colts made it look easy, relatively easy in the second half. Got to be better. You played too well in the first half to play that poorly in the second half. It was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde for this defense. And that was the problem last year. There were stretches where they were good, but they were bad for the most part. Got to be better. Your offense bailed you out this time, but maybe that won't be the case next time. Maybe you won't be playing against a Colts defense that's putrid, that can't get any pressure, that allows Matthew Stafford to carve them up. Maybe you're only able to score 23 points next time. You give up 35, you're going to lose. Got to be better than that. Good thing for you, though, you're not going to play Andrew Luck and these weapons every week either. So it goes both ways. Missed extra point by Prater. I talked about this already. That can't happen. Almost cost you the game 34-35. That would have hurt so bad if you lose this game because he missed an extra point. Oh, my God. Talk about gut-wrenching. To lose, to play this well and lose because Matt Prater missed the extra point. That would have hurt. That would have stung. But you didn't. So let's not harp on it. Second half dislikes for the Colts. The defense. It's the defense in the first half. It's the defense in the second half. This is not a good defense. We already knew that coming into the game. The hope was that you could outscore the Lions. Well, you couldn't because the defense couldn't stop them from scoring. Offense gave you the lead with less than a minute to go in the game, and the defense promptly gave it up. What are you to do? What are you supposed to do when you give the offense the lead with 41 seconds left and they can't hold it? I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do. Don't know. And my final dislike, allowing the Lions to drive into field goal range with 37 seconds left on the clock. Simple as that. That's where this game was lost. For all the bad the defense did, for all the good the offense did, it came down to just needing to preserve the lead for 37 seconds. And you couldn't do it. And that's how bad this defense is right now. It's a shame. It really is. Because Andrew Luck and that offense played their hearts out. And the defense promptly gave the game away once again. So, that's my take on this game. It's a shame that the Colts couldn't come away with this win. Andrew Luck and that offense played well enough to win. I'll check Twitter quickly to see if I have any comments. Like I said, the comments for this stream has been disabled. So not able to view any comments on the stream, but I will check my Twitter. We'll check my Twitter mentions and see if I have anything, which I shouldn't. I normally don't, but I'll just do my due diligence anyway. And nothing's there, so that'll wrap it up. No banana in the tailpipes for these two teams because I think I know who these teams are, and I didn't see anything different. I went into this game thinking the Lions weren't that good on defense. They weren't that good on defense in this game. I went into this game thinking that the Colts weren't good on defense. They weren't good on defense in this game. I went into this game knowing that the Colts offensively, I'll say this. I thought the offensive line wasn't that bad for the Colts. That's my banana in the tailpipe for them. Are you going to be able to protect Andrew Luck good enough, adequately enough. Look, you're going to have some breakdowns. I know that. I understand. But can you protect him this good? Because I thought it was well enough for them to put up 35 points. He had time in this game. Can they do that moving forward? I'm not sold. I don't believe in this offensive line at all. They need to prove it to me some more. But I thought they actually came out and played well in this game. I should have put them on the likes list because, yeah, they gave up some pressures. Yeah, they gave up some sacks. But this offense scored 35 points. And the reason they were able to score 35 points is because they gave Andrew Luck enough time to get the football out of his hands. So give a little bit of credit to this offensive line. But the defense didn't do enough for you to win this football game. That's going to do it for me here on lockdown coverage of the Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I continue to break down anything and everything in the National Football League. I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me. This has been Lockdown Coverage. We're changing the game one live feed at a time. See you next time.